Welcome back. You're watching Capital Today. Today's topic for FaceTime is branding. So, what Coca-Cola, McDonald's, KFC has in common? A strong brand. We will look into how a strong brand can affect your product and services that you supply to. My colleague Raj would actually be talking to Jasmine Abdullah, who is the CEO of Gymboree, and also Hisham Noor, who's a brand development consultant with uno.com.my. So over to you, Raj.
Thank you very much, Shikin, for the introduction. Yes, that's right. With me right now is Jasmine and Hisham, who's going to talk a bit about branding and the importance it plays with regards to your business or the services that you offer. Thank you for being on our show this morning on FaceTime. Now, first, before we delve into the hard topic of branding and how it affects your business and so forth, I'm sure our viewers would like to hear a bit about your personal story. Hisham, could you just share with us about yourself?
Okay, hi, good day, good morning everyone. My name is Hisham. Basically, I started working in event activation, where I do a lot of events. I did events with cigarette brand, beverage brand, and my main account was a skincare brand. Then I changed my industry. I changed to magazine sales, where I post to media owner. I mean, I know slightly in and out of media. Then I changed back to advertising, whereby I did a lot of advertising, I did a lot of branding, I did a lot of brand plan with my client. And slightly before that, now I'm a freelancer. So my last posting was I was a brand strategist for a web developer company.
Right. Sounds like you've been both sides of the coin. On one hand, you were on the client side, and the other side you were...
No. Mostly I was on the agency side.
Agency
Just
side.
Different side. I was in events, activation, I was in advertising, and I was in digital platform too.
Right. I understand. Was this your interest from the very, very beginning? Like perhaps when you were studying, what got you into this industry in the first place?
Yeah, honestly, I failed engineering before.
Okay, vastly different.
So I think I found my sweet spot in branding, advertising. So that's why I'm doing now.
Right. You're more of a people person, right?
I think so. I like to think so.
Right. Now moving on to you, Jasmine, can you just share with us a bit about your personal background?
Okay, basically, I'm a mom. Okay, I have 2 kids. So my background before this, I was actually in electronics. So when Gymboree was introduced to me, I totally fall in love with it because I wanted to raise my child according to the Gymboree ways. So I guess I've been running Gymboree for the last 15 years here in Malaysia, and I've been very happy with it because I think my kids are my role model, and they are the byproduct of Gymboree.
Right.
And I'm very, very satisfied with the result.
Fantastic. I mean, moving out from the corporate world, the corporate side, and then into something, I would take it that you're very passionate about music as well.
Yes. Everything about fun, play, music. I'm a big child. I'm a big kid, basically.
I'm sure your kids will love to hear that as well.
Yes.
All right, now moving on in terms of the topic about branding. Now, there's a lot of misconception out there with regards to what is a brand or what branding entails, because sometimes the results are very intangible. Certain times it's very difficult to quantify, like inputs and as relation to output. Hisham, can you just share with us a bit about how would you define branding?
Okay, I think the issue now is people can't really differentiate between marketing and branding. Branding is what you are. Okay, like I'm Hisham. I always with this hair. Whereby marketing is like, hey, like me because I have this hair. So a lot of people confused of that, and because of this confusion, either small, medium, or even big corporation can't really differentiate that, and eventually people don't know their brands and they're not making sales, and that's what they are now lah. And also since you don't know the difference between that, then your competitor will overstep you, and basically they making more money, and you just being stagnant. Maybe you increase a bit, being stagnant, or you just gone.
Right. So it's very important to have a very clear distinction about what your brand. Of course, one brand which comes to my mind, which we're talking about in the early news, is Apple, which has one of the strongest brand in the world. Nike would be another good example, and of course Malaysia Air Asia, because of the accolades and in terms of what it has accomplished in the last 12 years, you can see that the brand is very strong.
Basically, if you look at Asia, okay, you need to look at Apple. Apple is in US, so you look at our local brand Asia. They've done a lot of stuff. They invest a lot of stuff. I mean, people know them as, okay, we are cheap, join us. Okay, we are cheaper than other flight company.
Airlines, yeah.
Airline company, sorry. So basically, then by now, after a decade and 2 years, now people know them, okay, I don't have money. I want to go to Bangkok. I don't want to, sorry, not Bangkok, Bangkok is in political issue now. Maybe I want, okay, maybe I want to go Vietnam. Okay, I don't have much money.
That's
okay,
right.
I obviously I don't want to spend on first class on
Sure.
other flight. So, okay, let's go to Asia. It's cheap.
Right.
So then I go to Asia.
That's right.
And apart from that, they did a lot of branding effort, not just here, abroad.
Of course.
They sponsored EPL team and they even sponsored a MotoGP team.
That's
so
right.
they have a lot of effort. So that's why they are now. If people expect, okay, I'm good, but you don't brand yourself, don't market yourself, then people don't know you, and eventually you're not making sales lah.
Exactly. But with good branding, in fact, you can take it to a whole new level as well in terms of the returns on your return on investment, profits, revenues, and so forth. Now, Jasmine, when you moved from, as you mentioned, electronical industry and decided to start this out, 15 years ago?
Here in Malaysia.
That's right, here in Malaysia.
Yes.
How do you do the transition? Because obviously these are different worlds apart.
Okay. Gymboree is actually a franchise from the States. So they have been established for the longest time, since 1976. So when I started Gymboree here in Malaysia 15 years ago, it was very difficult because in the Western culture, they accept parent-child interactive play, whereas here in Malaysia, you have the maid and the kakak and the grandparents who take care of things like that. And so they do not believe in as much as interactive play between parent and child. So initially, in the beginning, it was very tough. And, you know, I constantly have people saying that, you know, parents, if I pay you, why should I go in there and take care of my own child? Okay, so it was very rough in the beginning, 15
because
15
of the
years
mindset.
ago. It's the mindset. It's a different culture. It's a different way of life altogether. So it has taken some years to cultivate the importance of child development, parent-child bonding, interactive play, learning while playing, playing with purpose, and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, so being that, you know, Gymboree has been around for the last 15 years, so it took some time to educate the people.
True. I think conventionally in Malaysia, for example, if like, for example, sending to music lessons, you drop off the kid there, the kid stays there for the next 1 hour to 2 hours, you come back, you pick him or her up, and that's it, right?
So majority
Very
of the
detached.
business is like that. Majority of the business is like that, but with Gymboree, it's different. You have to be there with your child.
Right.
You are the leader of your child.
Right.
You bond with your child.
Right.
So in some ways, it's like when you grow old later, you want your child to come and take care of you too, rather than assign a maid to take care of the parents. So it works both ways. How you treat your child now is hopefully
how your child will treat you.
Yes. So in some ways, return in your investment.
Right. Very, very good point there. Looking at it from a very business context as well. Now, with regards to the parent itself, do they partake in the music activity?
Yes.
Play the instruments or?
It's not because this business is a child development. We start from newborn.
Sure. Oh, wow.
So from newborn to 5 years old. So it's about, we have several programs like play, music, arts, yoga, and sports. So parents are there with them for 45 minutes, taking the lead, playing with them, and even learning the children's behavior and how to cultivate them, to share, to build confidence. So basically what we're doing is not just learning about the basic skills. We want the children to master the basic skills because confidence, independence, socialization, discipline goes a long ways.
Right.
Rather than, we're not focused in academic at all.
Fair enough.
Because, you know, your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, there's how many sets of ABCs is there?
Right.
You know, but the confidence,
That's
the
right.
independence that
harnessing that creativity as well from within.
Yes.
Now, we were talking about branding as well. Now, 15 years ago, you obviously saw this opportunity because you brought this franchise into Malaysia. What was it about the brand which attracted you? Now, this is a interesting perspective because it's a real life example as well.
Gymboree has been around since 1976. So they have established the brand in the States. They're very popular. Now there's about close to 700 Gymborees worldwide in 43 countries. So coming to Malaysia, they're not new. to worldwide market. But to Malaysia, it's new.
Yeah.
I fall in love with it because it's a proven brand, and the programs is. It was brought by a mom, the founder of
Something you
Gymboree.
can relate to?
Yeah, yeah. She herself have 2 kids, and she wanted a safe place to play with her child. So even the instruments, not only the instruments, the equipment are designed by the expert. This by Jay Beckwith, and he's the guru of playground equipment. So he's also responsible in designing the equipment for Disneyland, for example.
Right.
So they're very established program. It's a well-proven
That's right.
program, lesson plan, equipment. So it has grown over many decades, 37 years.
That's right.
So it has proved time and time again that it works.
That's right. So it's, as you can see, it's reputable and credible, which is very, very essential when doing business. So
Right.
Hisham, coming back to you, we can see Gymboree as a very, very good example,
Yes, I can see.
whereby if everything is in place, it somewhat the brand will actually grow on its own, right?
Yes,
Very
yes,
naturally
yes.
as well.
Sorry, can your question again?
That's right. So with regards to this kind of thing, we can see that the brand can actually grow on its own as well.
Yeah, it is because I think they've been around.
That's
I mean, brand development doesn't take a week or month.
That's
It take a decade or more. Okay. But the good thing about Gymboree is I think their name is quite okay. They quite catchy. So Gymboree, then maybe so there's gym there, and then there's Boree, then Boree.
Actually, names are so very important,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is name.
In terms
and
of,
I think they have their good USP. I mean, their unique selling point.
That's
and yeah, if they are targeting to the right market, then people will come, and you don't really have a problem in doing branding or other marketing stuff.
Right. That's true. Now with regards to brand, it is an own right. Let's say you can brand anything. You can brand a
Yes.
person, you can brand a
Correct.
product, you can brand
Yes.
a service. Now let's say someone has just come into the market for the first time.
Okay.
Like in Jasmine's case, it has already been there worldwide,
yeah.
so it's somewhat easier because there's a track record.
Yeah,
Now, if
there's a reputation there.
There's a reputation. There's hopefully a good reputation at that. Now, for something new to
Okay.
come into the market, and then you want to start off to build the brand, what
Yes.
are the first things a person should look at?
I mean, the first thing, okay, you are new. Only your friend know you.
That's
I
right.
mean, the whole of Malaysia. Okay, don't talk about the world. The whole of Malaysia didn't know you. So, first you need to know what are you selling. For example, you're selling what product you're selling,
Right.
and you must know your product. And okay, what does your product what's your uniqueness about your product compared to other products?
Unique selling point, for
Yeah, unique
example.
selling point,
Right.
okay.
How to differentiate it.
And also then from then you need to select your target audience, okay? Because then if you're meeting the wrong target, you're gone. If you're meeting the right
That's
target, you're making money.
Right.
And also then you're doing your brand development deck, okay? Basically your brand development plan, okay, or your strat planning. How you need to develop brand? How do you want people to know your brand?
Sure.
And from basically you do a lot of research. Okay, then from that on, then you can go out to the world. And basically, I'm not saying that it will prove it will work out. You can have a try, because if you don't try, you don't know.
Sure.
Then hopefully once you go out to the people, you have your marketing plan, you have your activation ideas, and either online, offline, or even as simple as through word of mouth, then you can be there.
Right. Because in some cases, especially the more traditional businesses, they believe I come up with a good product or a good service, it will sell itself. I don't really have to do anything. Actually, that's a wrong mindset, especially in today's modern day.
Maybe
and age,
it works like a decade ago, 10 years ago. Maybe not now, because
That's
now,
right.
I think what happening now in the market is there's internet, there's Google.
That's right.
People heard about you. Time to time people will search for you in Google. And obviously with Malaysian mindset now, okay, do you have an issue before? What's a problem? Is
Right.
people complaining about problem? And by the way, and if you don't market your product well, either people don't know you or people don't like it, and eventually you're gone from the industry.
That's true. That makes a lot of sense indeed. All right, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take another quick commercial break. We are getting into the more riveting stuff with regards to branding. Now we have already touched something which is very relevant in today's day and age, which is the advent of the internet, and in particular social media, which can actually make or break your brand if you're not careful. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be back right here on FaceTime on Capital Today right after this.